Imran Khan's story begins in Lahore, Pakistan, in 1952. Born into a family with deep cultural roots, his early life was shaped by the traditions of his Pashtun ancestry and the modern influences of his city upbringing. His father, an engineer, and his mother, a woman of dignity and compassion, gave him a childhood where discipline met kindness. Even as a boy, there was a spark in him, something unspoken, a confidence that made him stand out. Teachers often remarked on his determination. He wasn't the loudest in the room, but when he set his eyes on something, he would not stop until he had it. As a child, cricket was more than just a game to him. In the narrow streets and open fields of Lahore, he learned how to bowl with precision and bat with resilience. The sound of leather striking willow became the soundtrack of his youth. At an age when most children dreamed fleetingly of glory, Imran visualized himself not just playing for Pakistan, but leading it. That vision was nurtured further when he moved to England for higher education, where he attended prestigious institutions like Aitchison College and later Oxford University. It was in England that he learned to balance cultures, to merge the discipline of academics with the freedom of sport. Cricket in England was more than a sport, it was an institution, and Imran absorbed every bit of that tradition. By the 1970s, Pakistan cricket was finding its identity, and Imran Khan was emerging as a new force. Tall, athletic, and charismatic, he quickly became one of the fastest bowlers in the world. His pace was ferocious, his run-up graceful, and his determination unshakable. Commentators marveled at his style, fans adored his confidence. Yet behind the glamour of cricketing fame, there was a relentless worker. Hours of training, sacrifices of comfort, and an iron will pushed him forward. He was not content with being just a player, he wanted to be the best, and more importantly, he wanted to redefine Pakistan's place in international cricket. His career was not without obstacles. Injuries plagued him, doubts surrounded him, and critics often claimed he lacked the temperament to lead. But Imran Khan thrived under pressure. The more the world doubted him, the stronger he became. His leadership qualities began to shine as he took on more responsibility within the team. He wasn't just a bowler or batsman anymore, he was the heartbeat of the squad. Players looked up to him, not only for his skill but for his courage to take risks and his refusal to accept defeat. The defining moment came in 1992. Pakistan's journey in the Cricket World Cup that year was anything but smooth. Losses, injuries, and inconsistent performances left the team struggling. Many had written them off. But under Imran's captaincy, something remarkable happened. He rallied his team, asking them to play like cornered tigers, a phrase that would become legendary. He led not by fear but by inspiration, reminding his players that greatness comes from resilience. Match by match, Pakistan began to climb, defying expectations and silencing critics. On March 25, 1992, in Melbourne, history was written. Pakistan lifted the World Cup for the first time, and at the center of it stood Imran Khan, holding the trophy high, his eyes reflecting years of struggle, sacrifice, and vision. That victory was more than just a sporting achievement, it was a national moment of pride, a unifying chapter in Pakistan's history. Imran Khan was no longer just a cricketer, he had become a symbol of hope, resilience, and belief. The young boy who once dreamed of leading Pakistan had now gifted his nation glory that would be remembered for generations. For many athletes, this would have been the pinnacle, the moment to retire and bask in glory. But Imran Khan's life was never about stopping at one achievement. Shortly after, a personal tragedy changed the course of his life forever. His beloved mother was diagnosed with cancer, a battle she ultimately lost. That loss pierced his soul, leaving a void that fame and victory could not fill. But from that pain rose a new purpose. He envisioned building a hospital in Pakistan where no family would have to suffer the way his had, where treatment would not be a privilege for the rich but a right for every citizen. The idea of Shaukat Khanum Memorial Cancer Hospital seemed impossible at the time. Critics laughed at the thought of a cricketer, no matter how famous, taking on such a monumental task. But once again, Imran defied the odds. He traveled across Pakistan, addressing gatherings, knocking on doors, and asking ordinary people for contributions. Villagers gave small coins, children donated their pocket money, and the wealthy stepped forward too. It was a movement driven not by politics or fame but by shared humanity. Years of tireless effort, fundraising, and planning finally bore fruit. In 1994, the hospital opened its doors in Lahore. It became a beacon of hope, a living tribute to his mother, and a revolutionary step in Pakistan's healthcare. People who had never believed in miracles saw one with their own eyes. For the first time, cancer patients from poor backgrounds could receive world-class treatment free of charge. The hospital was not just bricks and machines, it was a story of determination, compassion, and leadership. Even as he dedicated himself to philanthropy, Imran Khan's life was evolving. He had seen the power of unity, the strength of collective belief, and the possibility of change. He began to question why such energy could not be harnessed for the country itself. Why could Pakistan not rise in politics, economics, and governance the way it had risen in cricket? Why could the people not believe in themselves the same way a cornered team had believed in victory? These questions pushed him toward a new chapter, a chapter that would demand even more resilience than cricket or philanthropy. By the late 1990s, Imran Khan made the decision that stunned many: he stepped into politics. It was a decision that seemed almost impossible, a leap into a world filled with skepticism, corruption, and challenges unlike anything he had faced before. The same people who once cheered him as a hero on the cricket field now doubted his ability to survive in politics. Some called him naive, others dismissed him as a celebrity chasing relevance. But those who knew him understood, Imran Khan was never one to take the easy path. He thrived in adversity, and this would be the greatest test of all. Part 1 of his journey, from the boy with a dream to the captain lifting the World Cup, from a grieving son to the founder of a hospital, was complete. But his next battle, the battle to redefine Pakistan's politics, was just beginning. When Imran Khan stepped into politics, it was a battlefield unlike any he had ever seen. Cricket had taught him discipline, strategy, and the power of belief, but politics in Pakistan was an arena filled with entrenched dynasties, corruption, and skepticism. In 1996, he founded his political party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI, a movement for justice. The name itself reflected his vision, a Pakistan built on fairness, transparency, and meritocracy. But the road ahead was brutal. In his early years, his rallies barely attracted a few dozen people. Newspapers mocked him, opponents ridiculed him, and political analysts predicted his party would fade away in history as nothing more than a failed experiment. Yet, Imran Khan was never the kind of man to give up when the world doubted him. Just as he had once taught his cricket team to fight like cornered tigers, he now embodied that spirit in politics. He traveled across towns and villages, addressing gatherings in scorching heat and pouring rain. He spoke about justice, dignity, and the dream of a Pakistan free from corruption. His words didn't immediately change the political landscape, but slowly, they began to stir something in the hearts of ordinary people. He wasn't offering them wealth or false promises, he was offering them belief. The years between 1996 and 2011 were perhaps the toughest of his life. Election after election, PTI was crushed by the giants of Pakistani politics. At one point, his party had only a single seat in the National Assembly, his own. Many advised him to quit, to return to the comfort of philanthropy, or to retire into the honor of his cricketing legacy. But Imran saw politics not as a career but as a mission. He told his supporters that nations don't change overnight, they rise through perseverance. That resilience became his defining trait during those wilderness years. Then came 2011, a turning point. In Lahore, Imran Khan addressed a massive rally at Minar-e-Pakistan. The sight was breathtaking. Hundreds of thousands of people filled the grounds, waving flags, chanting slogans, and believing in something new. The man once ridiculed as a failed politician now stood as a genuine contender. Young people, disillusioned by the old political order, found hope in him. For the first time, PTI looked like a force that could no longer be ignored. From that moment onward, politics in Pakistan changed. Imran Khan was no longer just a dreamer, he was a threat to the established order. His movement grew, fueled by the energy of the youth, social media, and the frustrations of a nation tired of corruption and inequality. He became the voice of change, speaking relentlessly against injustice, nepotism, and the misuse of power. His critics grew louder too, accusing him of being too idealistic, of making promises too grand to deliver. But for millions, he was the only leader who seemed to care. The journey to power, however, was filled with storms. In the 2013 general elections, PTI emerged as the second-largest party by popular vote, but not enough to form the federal government. It was a bittersweet moment. Progress had been made, but the dream was still incomplete. Many expected Imran to accept defeat and fade away once more, but instead, he grew louder, sharper, and more determined. He organized sit-ins, marches, and rallies that shook the foundations of the country's political culture. 5 years later, in 2018, the dream he had carried for over 2 decades finally materialized. Imran Khan was sworn in as the 22nd Prime Minister of Pakistan. The boy who once played cricket in Lahore's streets, the captain who lifted the World Cup, the man who built a cancer hospital, now stood as the leader of an entire nation. His victory speech was filled with promises: a new Pakistan, where justice would prevail, poverty would diminish, and dignity would return to the people. For millions, it was the dawn of hope. But leadership at the highest level came with challenges far more complex than cricket or philanthropy. Pakistan was burdened with economic crises, foreign debt, and political divisions. Every decision was scrutinized, every policy criticized. The same people who once chanted his name now demanded instant results. Internationally, he faced the delicate balance of relations with powerful nations like the United States, China, and neighboring India. He spoke boldly on global platforms, often highlighting issues of Islamophobia, justice for Kashmir, and the need for equality in international relations. His speeches at the United Nations were praised by many as courageous, especially in the Muslim world, where he was seen as a leader who dared to speak the truth. Domestically, his government struggled with inflation, political resistance, and a bureaucracy resistant to change. He launched welfare projects, health initiatives, and programs for the poor, like the ESA's program and health cards for free treatment. His government also focused on tree plantation drives, aiming to combat climate change and create a greener Pakistan. These efforts earned him praise internationally, yet the economic hardships at home left many frustrated. The opposition grew fierce. Protests, political maneuvering, and alliances were formed to challenge his rule. Imran Khan's tenure was a constant battle between implementing reforms and surviving political attacks. Eventually, in 2022, a no-confidence vote in parliament led to his removal from office. For his opponents, it was a political victory. For his supporters, it was an injustice. Streets across Pakistan filled with protests, young and old chanting his name, refusing to accept defeat. To them, he remained their leader, whether in office or not. Even after being ousted, Imran Khan continued to dominate the political conversation. He faced legal battles, media scrutiny, and even personal danger. But as always, he remained defiant, calling his struggle not a quest for power, but for Pakistan's future. His resilience mirrored the same spirit he had shown as a cricketer, as a philanthropist, and as a politician who never accepted defeat as final. For many in the United States and around the world, Imran Khan represents a rare figure, a sportsman who transcended the boundaries of his field to become a national leader. His life is seen as a study in perseverance, a man who won the biggest prizes in cricket, built institutions of compassion, and fought tirelessly to change the politics of his country. His speeches resonate globally because they carry the voice of someone who has lived through success, loss, and relentless struggle. Imran Khan's story is not one of perfection. It is filled with triumphs and failures, with victories and setbacks, with moments of glory and times of despair. But that is precisely what makes it human. He is a man who dared to dream beyond himself, who bore the weight of criticism, and who kept walking even when the road seemed endless. As his journey continues, one thing remains undeniable: Imran Khan is not just a cricketer turned politician, not just a philanthropist turned prime minister. He is a symbol of persistence. For millions in Pakistan and beyond, his life says one simple truth: that the road to greatness is never straight, never easy, but always worth walking. And in that journey, defeat is never permanent, and hope is never lost.